Hello, my dear students. Welcome to our English program intended for grade 12. Today, we're going to have a general revision about Unit 9. In our program, we're going to revise 4 important parts. The first part will be related to vocabulary items, that is the new words that you have learned in this unit. And then we will move to the second part, which is related to grammar, and we will explain and comment on some grammatical mistakes that you might face while answering the question. Then we will talk about the situations and how to respond to them. And finally, we will talk about the set book questions, answering them logically. We will be back right after the break. Welcome back, my dear students. As I told you before, we're going to talk about and revise 4 important parts in Unit 9. We will discuss the vocabulary items and try to answer some exercises about your new vocabulary items that are mentioned in your textbook, Unit 9. And then we will move to some grammatical mistakes that you might face in answering some of the grammatical rules or some exercises. And then we will also respond to some situations. And finally, we will come to the 4th part, or the last one, which is related to the set book questions and literature time. Okay, now I want you to be focused and to be ready to take the notes that might be helpful for you when answering these questions. Let's start our episode for today. Well, all right, now we should start with some important pieces of information that can help you. These pieces of advice can help you answer the questions or the exercise correctly. Now, I want you to follow them even when we answer the exercises we have in our episode. Now, let's see. The first thing you have to know is when you have this kind of exercise about vocabulary, you have to read the sentence from the very beginning till the end. That's what I mean by you should read it carefully. Why do you think it's important to read the sentence carefully? Because once you read it, you can move to the next step, which is the overall meaning. In this case, you will understand what exactly the whole sentence is talking about, or at least you can decide what is the field it is focusing on. In this case, you will be able to choose the best answers. For example, if the overall meaning is talking about technology, you cannot choose any word. You cannot choose any word that is related to food. Okay, my third tip is related to some words that can be far-fetched. Now, these words cannot be suitable at all if you're going to choose a word that match the general meaning of the sentence. What we're going to do now is to apply and use these pieces of advice in answering the coming exercise. Now, let's start the first part of our revision, which is vocabulary. Well, the question here is choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. Let's see. Okay. China is one of the countries that are famous for goods. Now, you have, as you see here, you have 4 options, 4 words. You have to know the meaning, the general meaning of the whole sentence, and then you try to find the most suitable or the correct answer of the options. We have what here? Tranquil, which means peaceful and quiet. Immobile, which means motionless or cannot move. Competent, and mass-produced. Now, when I say competent, it can't be the right answers because when I say competent, this word includes knowledge and skills. So it is not really suitable to describe a word like goods. So what do you think the best answer or the correct answer is? Yes, think about this. Mass-produced goods. Okay, now let's move to number 2. I like to wear that kind of clothes because it has a style of latest fashion. All right. Again here, when you read the whole sentence, you should understand what it is really talking about. And then you decide which words can be related to each other. Now in this sentence, which word here is related to the right answer? Let's see. Latest fashion. So we are talking about latest fashion. So the correct answer is foreign, contemporary, handsome, or prominent. So normally when I say latest fashion here, the correct answer is, very good, contemporary. Now let's move to number 3. There is a big at the end of the hall on which students can display their activities. Again here, as the pieces of advice that we have mentioned before, you have to decide. Now see here, display their activities. So this is a situation here, we have students who are displaying their objects or their activities. Now the best answer can be platform, pottery, craftsman, or workshop. So if it is a place, it should be what? Platform. That's good. Now let's move to number 4. His father didn't admire his behavior as he behaved. Okay. Now look at the sentence carefully. You have words that can guide you to the best or to the correct answer. Now here we have didn't admire. When I say didn't admire, it means that something that someone doesn't really like. So if you don't like something, how you can describe a behavior that you don't really like? Is it clearly, legally, finally, or ungentlemanly? Yes, the best answer or the correct answer is very good. Because when I say ungentlemanly, it means in a bad way or a way that is not acceptable. Okay. I can't buy these kinds of products because they are. Now try to guess. What are the words that can guide you to the answer? Well, here we have the word can't buy these kinds. Now try to think. If you can't buy some products, why do you think you can't buy these products? What is the reason that you cannot buy some products? Are they weak, innocent, substandard, or invisible? So the best answer or the correct answer here is substandard. Means that the quality is not really good or it's of bad quality. Now this is the exercise related to multiple choice. You choose the best or the correct answer. Let's move to the other type. The other type is about gap filling, or you have some words, a list of words, and some sentences. You've got to choose the correct word and fill in the spaces. Now fill in the spaces with the correct words. See, competent, promote, call the shots, craftsman, custom made, and bill. Now again, look at these beautiful suits. I think they are. Now what is the word here? We have these beautiful suits. So beautiful suits means that the best answer or the correct answer is custom made. Okay, custom made here means something that is made especially for someone or some purposes. That person is not enough to be the new manager of the company. Okay, again here you have to look carefully. You have the word be the new manager of the company. So to be a new manager, you should be what? You should be competent. Good. So let's move to number 3. All the rugs and carpets at that shop are individually made by the finest. Now, what is the clue here? Now, what are these words that guide you? We have made by. Made by, this means that these things are made by what? By craftsmen. Great. The director has been absent for a week, but his assistant was able to. Now let's see. We have here a word, but his assistant. So the director is not here. So his assistant was able to call the shots. If you remember, call the shots, it is an idiom. It means to take important decisions. Now let's move to the next one, number 5. The was discussed in the parliament and passed at last. Now let's see the clue here, parliament and passed. What is it that is discussed in parliament? We have bill. All right. The last one here. The government should be playing a more prominent role to human rights. Okay. Now the clue here is which word? Human rights. If we're talking about human rights, yes, the best option is promote. That's good. Now, let's move to the other part, or the second part, which is related to grammar. In this part, we have two major questions. One of them is to choose the best or the correct answer. And then the second question is related to do as shown between brackets. Let's learn how to answer these kind of questions. Choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. Now look, I would like to because I am not a good cook. All right, now see, having my meal cooked, have cooked my meal, have my meal cooked, or be cooking my meal. Now, if you remember here, the sentence here is about the use of causative. Let's see. I am not a good cook. Well, if you are not a good cook, this means that someone else is going to cook for you. So the rule is have plus object plus past participle. Now let's see. The right answer is have my meal cooked. All right. Now number 2. All the roads were congested due to the rush hour, but fortunately we arrived in time. Now think about this. We have had to, were able, managed, and couldn't. See. Okay. Roads were congested. Now here the rule is related to the ability. It's something that you could really do, but with difficulty or after exerting efforts. Now let's see which one. So we have fortunately and something we could do. We say managed to. Move to number 3. The actress has just had her dress sewed, sew, sews, sewing. Okay, now think about this. Okay, so we have the options here are sewed, sew, sews, or sewing. Now we have has just had, and then followed by the object dress, and the right answer is sewed. Very good. Move to number 3. I had put the phone down when it rang again. Okay, my dear students, this is very important to explain. We have correlative conjunctions. These conjunctions are always used within 2 words. So it is mainly made of 2 words, and they are related to each other. It's like using one and then you guess the other. Like both, then we have and. Either should be either or neither should be neither nor. Here we have the same. Try to guess. When. So the right answer is never, no sooner, scarcely, rarely. So the only option is scarcely. We say scarcely when. Okay, I'll always remember the day I started school. Okay, what is the clue here? We have the word the day. It relates, or it is related to time. Now, the right answer is when, who, where, and whose. So this is time, we say when. All right, here we move to the second type of question about grammar, which is related to do as shown between brackets. In each question, you have to know what exactly you should do. Let's take it one by one. How did you solve this problem? Reported speech. My friend wanted to know. Okay, again, reported speech means that you report what you hear to someone else. Normally, we delete the quotation mark If it is a question, like here, we use the question word, and you should pay much attention to the tense. If it is present, it normally changes to past, and if it is past, it normally changes to past perfect. Now see, how did you solve this problem? My friend wanted to know how I had solved that problem. Okay. I little expected to bump into my hero. Complete or inversion. Now focus on the word inversion. Either inversion or when it starts with an adverb, you have to make some changes. Normally, we start with an auxiliary or helping verb that matches the tense if it is present or past. Then we have the subject followed by the main verb. Let's see. Little did I expect to bump into my hero. Now, why do you think I used the word did? Actually, because the tense is past. And then we have the verb expected should be in the infinitive form, which is expect. Students should submit the projects on time, passive, or change focus. Well, in this kind of question, as you know here, we have the question that can be introduced in two ways. We have passive or change focus. Now here the answer is already written. The projects should be submitted on time. Now when we change sentences into passive, we have to decide first the object. So the object is the projects. And then we have the verb, should submit. That's why we say should be submitted. He isn't going to take his photo himself. Rewrite using have. Again, this is causative. We use have, we use the object followed by object, and then the past participle. So, isn't going to take, this is future. And then we have the object, which is his photo. Now see. He is going to have his photo taken. All right. Now, it's important now to know that we are moving to part number 3, which is related to language functions. In this part, you are given some situations, and you will be asked to respond. You will say the suitable words or expressions that people normally say in these situations. So try to focus and understand the situation carefully. Let's start and see how to respond to these situations. What would you say in the following situations? Your friend is going to have a driving license test tomorrow. This is the situation. Well, as you know, in situations like those, you can respond in different ways. So if your friend is going to have a driving test, how can we respond to this situation? We may respond expressing opinion or advice or suggestion. Now, as you see, this is advice. You can give him advice. You say, I advise you, it's better to, or if I were you. Also, you can move and or you can use opinion. You will say, I think, in my opinion, I think you should sleep early. In my opinion, you have to follow the traffic rules. And finally, you can express your suggestion, that is to suggest, saying, I suggest, or how about, or what about. Another situation, your friend believes that leisure activities in the past are better than leisure activities nowadays. Well, in this situation, you have two different points of view. Your friend, as you see here, believes that leisure activities in the past were better than nowadays. What or how do you respond? Here you may compare. Comparing means you are mentioning two things. It's about the past and the present time. So you say in the past, and then when you talk to move about the other or the opposite point of view, you say whereas. Also, you can express agreeing. If you agree to what you have just heard, then you can express agreement. Or some other people may not agree. In this case, you will express disagreement. I don't agree with you. Another situation, Your father wants to know how you intend to spend your summer holiday. So you are talking about your future plans. So you respond here, or your response should be by expressing planning. I am planning to. It's something that you plan to prepare yourself to do. I'm planning to go to the cinema. I'm planning to go to the beach or whatever. Another possible answer is intention. Intention, something you intend. You say, I intend to. I intend to watch a new movie. I intend to go with my friends to visit someone else. Okay, you want to borrow your friend's dictionary. Okay, here in this situation, we have two possible answers. You may ask for, or you may request, or you may ask for permission. Now let's see. Request. Could you lend me? And then we have please. This means that you request from your friend to lend you something. And if you want to ask for permission, you say, may I borrow your dictionary or whatever you want, and then you add the word please. All right, now we come to the last part of our revision, which is related to set book questions. These questions are related to the textbook. Now try to understand and give reasonable answers. Now let's see. Why have some traditional skills activity or activities disappeared? You're going to give reasons why these traditional or these activities disappeared. Now let's see. We have mentioned that before. Traditional activities have disappeared for many reasons. First, large factories have emerged and produce large quantities of products. Second, most activities are made automatically by machines. Third, people prefer using modern technological devices. Now, notice how I link my ideas. I have first, second, and third. Now, question number 2. Why is it better to restore old buildings? If you remember, the question here is related to Beit Luzan. It's about restoring old buildings to be used at the present time. Why is it important to do this? Old buildings should be reused because they are part of our culture. Moreover, they remind us of our history and very special events. Now, I used the word moreover to link one idea to another idea which are related. Question number 3. How could Dr. Masouma Al-Mubarak set a good example to Kuwaiti women through her achievements? Now, it is, as you see, related to the character that we have studied in our textbook. It's about Dr. Masouma Al-Mubarak. We're talking about her achievements. She is a political science professor in Kuwait University. Also, she was Kuwait's first female minister. Furthermore, she was given a seat in Kuwait Parliament. Now I linked them using also and furthermore. Okay, the last part is related to literature time, your story, which is entitled Great Expectations. Now let's see. Do you think money is the only source of happiness? Why or why not? Here you should give your opinion. Are you for or against? Let's see. No, I don't think that money is the only source of happiness, because using it as a means to help the poor and the needy can make us happy. Also, we need it to buy our needs. Now see, I used the word also. One last question. How would you meet Joe if you were Pip, and why? Well, the question here is related to how you deal with people who took care of you while you were or when you were a child. I would treat him with respect and kindness because I should be grateful to people who supported and cared for me in my life. Now, we have come to the end of our program for today. We have explained how to respond to vocabulary items some grammatical rules, and how to respond to functional activities, and finally to answer the questions related to set book questions. Now we have come to the end. Till we meet again, thank you for your attention. Best of luck. Thank you.